Trendsetter, I got style for you. Ain't seen you at the top, it's been a while for you. Big you up and they look down on you. Take one loss, no one's around for you. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. Trendsetter, I got style for you. Ain't seen you at the top, it's been a while for you. Big you up and they look down on you. Take one loss, no one's around for you. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop, yeah. I'm so handsome. All in Carmine's with my Benzo, I'm so fancy. No romancing. Got my baby and she right, she make you vanish. No time to play, got book dates. Had a plan, only had to wait. Always knew I'd make a way. Send a bill, they send a pay. Keep it real, keep the record straight. Keep it real, no time to fake. All authentic in my own lane. I am me till I'm in the grave. Trendsetter, I got style for you. Ain't seen you at the top, it's been a while for you. Big you up and they look down on you. Take one loss, no one's around for you. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. Ooh, never panic. Get a worry, send it up and then advantage. Yeah, I can't stand it. Out of order way you move and see you scrambling. On offense, no defense. Still strong, no weakness. Used to say I wouldn't beat this. Now they wish they could beat this. Tables set, now tables turn. Guys playing on say a word. Know the price cause I know my worth. My time, get what I deserve. Trendsetter, I got style for you. Ain't seen you at the top, it's been a while for you. Big you up and they look down on you. Take one loss, no one's around for you. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. Trendsetter, I got style for you. Ain't seen you at the top, it's been a while for you. Big you up and they look down on you. Take one loss, no one's around for you. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop, yeah. I'm so handsome. All in Carmine's with my Benz, I'm so fancy. No romancing. Got my baby and she right, she make you vanish. No time to play, got book dates. Had a plan, only had to wait. Always knew I'd make a way. Send a bill, they send a pay. Keep it real, keep the record straight. Keep it real, no time to fake. All authentic in my own lane. I am me till I'm in the grave. Trendsetter, I got style for you. Ain't seen you at the top, it's been a while for you. Big you up and they look down on you. Take one loss, no one's around for you. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. Ooh, never panic. Get a worry, send it up and then advantage. Yeah, I can't stand it. Out of order way you move and see you scrambling. On offense, no defense. Stood strong, no weakness. Used to say I wouldn't beat this. Now they wish they could beat this. Tables set, now tables turn. God's plan, I don't say a word. Know the price, cause I know my worth. My time, get what I deserve. Trendsetter, I got style for you. Ain't seen you at the top, it's been a while for you. Big you up and they look down on you. Take one loss, no one's around for you. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. Trendsetter, I got style for you. Ain't seen you at the top, it's been a while for you. Big you up and they look down on you. Take one loss, no one's around for you. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. Yeah. I'm so handsome. All in Carmines with my Benzo, I'm so fancy. No romancing. Got my baby and she right, she make you vanish. No time to play, got book dates. Had a plan, only had to wait. Always knew I'd make a way. Send a bill, they send a pay. Keep it real, keep it real.
Welcome back, everybody. Word of Mouth, Monday edition. It's a special Monday to a lot of us. Today's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And I always like to go back and reflect on one particular quote of his. And it goes something like this. An individual has not started living until he can rise above the narrow confines of his individualistic concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity. If you take that in a little bit and start to think about it, it's really easy for all of us to get bogged down in the things that we find important, the things that we only care about. And it's really tough to actually care about what's good for everybody. So today, especially, let's take a second, stop, and think of what we can do for the betterment of everybody, and not just worry about ourselves. And that's my little ranting for today. We'll leave that alone the rest of the night. But happy holiday to everyone out there. Today we're going to get back into a little bit of basics. A lot of the questions that I got from my post earlier was that people were more curious about cutting and chipping and things like that. And we're going to call those basics of Golden Tee, right? And until you can truly get good at the basics, you're never going to get good with everything else. Cutting, chipping, putting, done. I mean, those are the three most important things: cutting, chipping, putting. If you can do all of those, the rest of it is minimal. You get those three down, you're going to be pretty damn good. Rios Country destroyed all putt records. He's not going to have any records in a moment. So if you guys didn't notice that Andy Hansen, Adam Kramer, Kevin posted that update with the concerns of the watchdog issues will be coming out very shortly. I believe they said at midnight tonight. So at that point, I'm going to take out this hard drive, put my old one back in, get the patch on it. Then I'll have backed all my goods. So in a way, it will be like Uyghurs was never here. And we can only hope that that keeps up. But so I want to start, though. We'll start looking at, I'm going to look at the event, get some games in on that. Without even thinking about it, what holes could be there. I don't see any way this is not just going to be your standard clubs, standard balls, be it stouts, be it Titans, be it streaks. I don't think you need any of those other ones, though. I'm pretty feeling like it. I'm pretty much feeling like it's all stouts. Now, the first thing is, how am I feeling? I'm feeling better, not as much, but man, my equilibrium is all off a bit. Like I can't. My ear feels like it's clogged all the time. So we'll get through it. Okay, good. So we're back to a pretty straightforward set. So we'll take this down with, we're going to play stouts on it. Now, the thing with stouts, guys, while they make the game easier, they definitely dumb you down in terms of cut shots. I was just putzing around with them prior to, and some of the shots that are easy cut shots in general, like for me, like a 13 crosswind with a 5-iron, it actually becomes quite hard with stouts because you can't really mess around with it too much, because your small amount of cut with an iron like that will cut through a 7 wind pretty easily, so you overdo it. Al, I have not gotten the video. I'll look at here momentarily. I think you just sent it. Okay, so we'll start this off. What video are you talking about, Al? Oh, no. I actually tested negative for COVID. I had an ear infection, though. It started as an outer, went to an inner as well. So now I'm on antibiotics and drops, whatever, for it. It just got my equilibrium a little off. No, I went and got tested because we won't be streaming Friday night. Wednesday night. I know it has nothing to do with the inauguration, but I'll have an appointment with IT. I'm going to go get a look at the new machines, talk about some other things. Power Vending beat me to it today. And if you guys saw their sweet pics with the updates of the machines, man, gorgeous. Sweet pics. So this is a good hole to have for hole 3. That's good. That we got a hole 3 on timber. That's a good pick. In general, on that hole, I'm going to play a club to hit the branches of the trees. Oh, don't you dare say things like that about Paige. We sure did have some fun this weekend, I'll say that much. Hey, there we go. We're raw dogging it right away. Guys, it has taken me forever to get this ball broken in. It's playing fine. I just don't have the little incrementals directionally. And when I come downstairs, whenever I start playing, the damn thing is stiff as hell. So it takes quite a few games. God, I'm getting really tired of these bags switching on their own. I have my default bag as my standard set right now, and this is my par 3 set because I played a par 3 tournament. So we're gonna have to just deal with it. That's good to hear, Mark. I'm glad he was entertaining. I love that man. He's a good dude. You can't be mad at him ever. But when it comes down to it, I'm not that big of a drinker. Like, I drink on the streams. I don't drink any other times really. Or if I'm out at the bar, I'll drink. But at home, I don't drink very much at all. But as in life, when you do something, you got to do it right. So when I decide to, we're going to go at it. Yeah, I'm already just flustered now that I have this wrong bag. That sucks. Well, no, we made sure he got tested before he came. So he was clear before he came up, and he's been quarantined at home too, except he does go to the bar quite a bit. So yeah, and I'm hoping I don't get it because I think the VA will have vaccinations here very soon for us. So I don't. It would just suck to get it right before I'm about to get vaccinated. We're gonna try this way. Nope, no good. All right, so this one's a little bit. This hole's gonna be a little challenging on some setups, but I would have had a 9-wood there, and I would have had a much easier shot coming in. I couldn't have looked too much better that night either. Yeah, Thursday Thursday that was not my finest, but it was fun. We had a good time. We're gonna get through this one and then switch back to our normal clubs and balls here. My normal clubs at least, balls wise, I'm the same. Oh yeah, Neil. I've played that one since he made it. I think I've gotten second every time. Nothing. Nothing at all, dude. I don't think that ever happened. Feels good. I think you're making shit up on me now, Rios, to try to make me feel bad. Well, Todd Clark, welcome. Welcome to the channel, bud. How you doing tonight? So that is one thing when you're talking about if you're playing stouts and you're playing at Titans and things, your cuts with stouts, you really shouldn't be, you should be avoiding hitting cuts with stouts. That's the point of them. Since your win is so little, you don't have to worry about cutting as much, which means when you do have to do it, it's such an anomaly that you have a chance of effing it up a bit. Really the only thing I use cuts for with stouts is obviously if there's something in front of you, okay, but I get to use it to control distance a bit better. But the goal of stouts, and if you look at it, you should be thinking with your stouts, I'm hitting straight shots most of the time. That's it. I can aim at almost any wind without having to play a cut shot on. You could use your cuts to control distance. Now, like this one, could I straight line it off to the right with a 180, slightly left of B and slightly right of 2? Yeah, I could, but now I've got to worry about my distance control. So here, I'll play, and with stouts, and you got to know your club, how much it's going to cut. With stouts, the 10.5 driver, the 10.5 driver, and we're talking about the 22-degree 10.5 degree, the 10.5 driver, the older one, the one that was the original one from your high loft set of clubs back in, I forget what they're even called now. I think maybe high lows, but it was one of the original sets. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just baby cut this enough to make it kind of fight into a 6.5 win. So when I say baby cuts, let's define these cuts for you here, right? All right. From the tip of the B to the tip of the A, if I say a half cut, I'm going between that, right in the middle of that. I'm going between those. A baby cut to me is anything inside of the tip of the B, right? Now, when I'm saying baby cut, though, I'm probably going to keep it less than that, because as you get closer to the halfway point between the A and the B, or the B and the C, that's when your cuts start to make it snap hook or snap slice. And that'll make it go further than that. Before that point, though, you're going shorter distances with the same shot. Now, the reason why is it's not about how the ball's still traveling the same, but we know shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So if I hit that shot straight line, it's going to go a lot farther. But it's still traveling the same distance to get to a shorter point when I go with a cut shot. And you see how much that thing cut with that? With just that little bit. Now, I cut it more than I said I did. I said I wanted baby. I went out to the tip of the B, so I missed a little bit. All right, so that wasn't a great start, but we'll get it in right now. I'm going to go back to the app because I'm sure my default bag just changed. And I'm going to change my default bag to just my standard set of clubs. And that set of clubs will be what you see here. Maybe. It's that. I'm not playing arrows. I don't know how to change the graphic where he's got arrows at. But I'm sure Richard, if he checks in tonight, he'll fix that. But it's that set of clubs is what I'm playing. No, it's not. Never mind. Let me see. Let's see if I can find it. I don't have it. Okay. All right. He'll have to show me how to update that. But it's just going to be my standard set of clubs. That was my 3-driver bag, and that's not what we're playing on this. Well, Paul Anthony Luna, what we're doing right now is we're going through the home edition event, and we're also talking about chips and putts and cuts. So you're a great mind for this one here. So right now we're talking the basics of cutting the ball. Now, I'm explaining it well using stouts. And honestly, like I said, if you're really trying to work on your cutting, do it with any other ball besides for stouts. Well, not any other ball. Any basic ball besides for stouts. Because stouts is going to make, it's such a specific ball that your cuts with side winds are not going to react the same way as they do with 99% of the other ones. Let's see if we can get this current bag to the right one. That's it. Okay, now we're there. And that's why I kind of recommend there's 2 parts about it. We had a good time, Paul. We had a good time. It was a drunk night for me. He has one, Eric. Oh, I do have an overhead cam. It's not really set for that, but with the shot meter, you don't really, I don't want you looking at my hands, right? Yeah, we absolutely were, Mark, and that was before I realized some of. I thought the stouts were stock balls with no wind, right? But they're not. They have extra distance too, and when you add that extra distance into play, they're really, I mean, light years ahead of everything else. Yeah, and with that's what I was getting at, Al. I almost don't want you watching my hands on the pullback because, yeah, you see the top of where my hand is. You don't see where the ball is actually coming down my palm and where it is. So you could be seeing me pull like almost looks like full C, but the ball is rolling down the inside part of my index finger. And that means that it would actually be a C, like inside a C. So you'll have to adapt what you see on the shot meter to what you do with your own game. And that takes some time. No one can teach you that, right? You can't be taught that. You have to just start adjusting. Like it's the same thing like I say about my chipping. When I pull back little bits, even though I feel like I'm pulling back dead straight, I know that I pull back a click right of B on my straight pullbacks. When I try to correct it, I overcorrect it. So I've adjusted that to my game as to play an offset left to hit 180s most of the time. I can fix it a little bit during full swings, but my chips all have a little bit of hook to it. Oh, I thought I'd get more wind out of that. I can or cannot confirm that, Gavin. No, I can confirm it. That was the TV I had up on the wall for the machine when you were here last. I had thrown like an empty plastic water bottle at the camera and it managed to take out one pixel in the top right. And within a week, that one pixel turned into two big lines through it and then went all changed colors on me. So I said, screw it. We'll be saving that TV for something fun. Oh, come on. That's not good. We're not starting off with a miss. Now watch my balls. My clubs will have changed, I bet. But I do have to give the screens from Samsung a bit of credit, guys. If I look at the screen, I put some effort into that with my head, and that did not crack as much as I thought it would. I thought I'd be able to snap that thing in half. Nope, I didn't. Mr. Hoffman, how you doing tonight? I have a feeling this event this week is going to take a lot more games because this is going to require some holeouts. I'm thinking 2-betters, 5 2-betters is going to be needed. Yeah, well, so does my head. Oh, come on. I'm going to try, but like I said, I'm going to IT tomorrow. We'll see how I feel afterwards. And see if I'm down there for the weekend. I'm going to try to get up there, though. No, it's frowned. It's fine. You can wear a glove if you want. We will ridicule you endlessly, but you can. And I'm not gonna deny it. There is something to be said about wearing a glove. The consistency, like, I mean, the biggest thing for me is my hands change. With different temperatures, different humidities, it changes. Billy, I have no idea, man. I don't know. No, not at all. I haven't gotten worse than third at that tournament in the 3 times I've been there, or 2 times I've been there. But the handicap up there, the way they run it is really cool. I don't hesitate to play in handicap tournaments. If it's done right handicaps are very good. And for the most part, on this year's courses, the handicaps are capable of being hit. Now, and I'm just saying, like, my handicap won't be a 31. Like, I'm playing Rattlesnake and get a 31, so my handicap's at 30 and a half or 31, and then the next game is a 26 part course, dude. There, that is untenable to me. Hi, Adam. How you doing tonight? But the handicap is part based on your performance that day, part based on your handicap. So it's actually a really good system. Yeah, my straight shots are just a tad bit off right now. So this is a good one to look at your cut with too. So now I know that my cut shot here, since I'm not going more than B and a half, right? And when I say B and a half, I'm putting it right between the B and C. I'm not going to go much more than that. So I'm going to hit that right about the halfway mark and hit it small and hit it smooth. And now the other part of your cut shots you have to look about is how the spin comes into play. It's not like the ball's going to come straight back at me. The ball's going to go at the inverse angle as what you're approaching it where it lands in. So if I hit with a 45-degree angle like this, the spin is going to be inverted to that. And we're the rock, baby. No, but you got inverse angles here. So now on this one, I'm going to actually use the spin not to bring it back. It's going to stop it from bouncing over the back, but I'm going to use it to bounce hard left at the pin. And then if you don't cut it enough, you end up not hitting the green, which is terrible. And now we start over because you're not losing strokes on this. I have a feeling tonight's going to be probably one of the worst I perform on stream. Everything's just a little off as of yet, but we'll get there. I didn't see if anybody got any invites out. I got a couple friends requests, but I didn't see any invites come out with specific courses. So if you did send some, just say it in the chat and I'll make sure to go through and accept those. All right. That's in the sand. Maybe not. Stay up. Shit. What are you doing, dude? We got a bad start, guys. That's like 4 games now, and not really one of them counting. This isn't going to be a week I run away from everybody and hide at the top. It's gonna take some games to win this one. And man, I'm still saying, with this ball breaking in still, they're not fun when you're breaking them in. Hey, Scanonymous, if I said that right. I believe you. Did you send an invite? Let's see. Of course, there's a Let Me Rock invite. Those are always there. Al, I'm getting yours right now. Jeez. So boulder stands a moan among the wreck. All right, we got some holeouts coming. I got some feelers here. Chipping is going to be a really hard thing to go through for you guys because, like I said, the way I want to describe and want you to chip is going to be different than mine because I've got years of fucking up behind me, years of bad habits. Now notice I played that one to hit the branch. Because at that angle coming in, if I don't hit the branch, there is no way that ball could back up and go in. We got a mini box here. But we'll start getting this dialed in. Okay, now that Mark, that I'm going to tell you the long backswing is probably a bad idea. And we'll go through that. I'll look at that on my next chip. Okay, and the biggest part about chipping is find something that is repeatable for you, right? Because you can adjust your forward swing speed with any backswing that you have. And some people do different backswings depending on the chip. I'm probably more on that line. Than I am with the same backswing on every chip. But once you realize the differences between each, you can start messing with it more. Now, in my opinion, the higher backswings will actually bring the ball to go a little bit higher. Well, that brings the wind into play a little bit. And as much as you don't think it's there, that little bit of wind on your chips does affect it. That's why my theory on it is to play the lowest lofted club that gets over the obstacle in front of me. Because then I can be certain that how the ball reacts on the green is the same, no matter if I'm hitting a 7-iron, a 5-iron, a 7-iron, 5-iron, 9-iron, anything in there. I also have a little bit of a weird stigma that I don't like chipping with even numbered clubs for some reason. Like, you'll rarely see me chip with an 8-iron. I don't know why. I just don't like the even number clubs. I don't know why. Trust me, there is no rhyme or reason to it. It's just, I guess, superstition. They're going to keep giving you this box, huh? It is, and it's not even necessarily length that I'm looking at. It is the amount of green I have between the obstacle and the hole changes my club. And obviously what type of green that is, right? Dear God. I mean, one of the ones that chips weird that's really good at it, and it's weird to be Paul Taylor. He's one of these guys that brings the club head back like this high when he's chipping, and he's really accurate with it. But there's some points of fact that you need to know about your pullback in relation to what's going to happen on your swing. Now, I can't give you exact points, and this is really close to accurate. But like I said, I don't have access to the code to actually see the readings. But to my knowledge, during the pullback, it reads the X and Y axis 5 different times on the pullback. Right? So if you break it down into fifths, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Somewhere in there. Now, so for instance, if I find the same pullback every time, I probably have only had 2 readings during that pullback, right? Or 3 readings if I'm up to this high. The problem is when I stop at a point between where it can be the two readings. Because as you pull through on your hand, I mean, your pullback is never, it's always moving slightly back and forth directionally, right? So as long as I can get to the part where I can repeat it, I can adjust my pullback based off. Now, and that's why some of these thumb chippers are much more accurate, because they get their pullback, they stop, and now they're going forward. My problem is that short micro touch with the thumbs, I'll spray it everywhere. So I've always been a rhythm chipper where I pull back, it's all one motion. Now, if you look, I'm still pulling the club head back similar spots, and I'm adjusting it based on the terrain that I'm on. But in those 5 parts, though, let's say I pulled all the way C for the first reading, and then I pulled it back all the way A for the second reading. That would read a dead straight to B pullback. And you can kind of test that in your own right. If you're sitting at home and you do a shot that you hit full C for the first half of the swing and then full A the rest of the way, you're going to come back pretty close to straight. It's kind of interesting when you look at it. Oh, the farther you pull it back, the higher it goes. That's an absolute 100%. So if you are in a deep bunker, it's why you can learn to get away with not having a lob wedge in your bag. And really, I would highly recommend, if you have a lob wedge in your bag, especially for if you're playing 2021, get rid of it. Okay, so Zach, your question is, this is a question of if you want it right now. So this is going to be, so you're looking at probably Q4 for the home edition version of the PGA one to come out. And mind you, they are the gameplay, all of the old courses and all of the new courses are exactly the same. Whether it's PGA or whether it's GoldenTee PGA. I mean, whether it's home edition GoldenTee or home edition GoldenTee PGA. The issue you're going to have is in 5 years, most likely, that's not going to give you new courses after that. So we're coming up at the middle of Q1. If you can wait 9 to 10 months, I would wait. If you want to have something to do for the next 9 or 10 months, by all means, go buy one. And this is if I had another guy ask me the same question, and he's like, yeah, money's not an object, but I just want to play GoldenTee. I can't play at the bar right now. Okay, buy one now, sell it when the new one comes out, buy the new one after that one comes out. I think the prices are going to be very comparable between the two. Yeah, when the new one comes out, the old ones will lose some value. So I bet you'd sell your $4,000 machine for, I mean, if you bought a brand new one right now, you probably sell it for $3,000 still for $4,000. So it costs you $1,000 to have a machine at your house. Is that worth it to you for the next 8 to 10 months? This is where it's a personal preference right there. Now, you could also do this, and this is a recommendation that I would be thinking. You guys, vendors are hurting right now. They also are going to need to get rid of old machines and buy new ones. Call your local vendors, right? And go, hey, do you want to sell me one of your 2021 machines from the field that is not getting any play in your bars right now for $1,000? What are they going to say? No. They might have one that's got some older equipment on it. If it's running 2021, you get the commercial chip. I think it costs you $100 or $200, and now you've got a home edition for $1,200. I can't see how that's a bad thing. Just to tie the time. Then you sell that thing, you get $1,000 for it when you sell it. You break even, you buy the new machine when it comes out. Then not to mention too, guys, you're also helping the vendors that need to upgrade their equipment because you're giving them cash on hand to do that. It's kind of a win for everybody. I know you'll see vendors coming up, like I'm sure Power Vents. They got all the tournament machines that they're upgrading them all. So they're going to sell all of their old machines. I mean, and they'll be very fair with it. You know that Russ knows how to maintain the machines, so you're not going to get a piece of crap. Obviously, they might be, I mean, they're going to have the newest software on it. You might end up having to replace any bits of hardware. But, I mean, for something for 5 years, $1,000 to $2,000 isn't that bad of an investment. It really isn't. Oh. All right, so we're playing bad. We don't have anything. Well, I don't think they're probably gonna be selling theirs for closer to 2. But I'm saying call it. See, and then you have to, if you did it from them, you'd be looking to get machines shipped then too. And shipping is not a cheap venture for these guys. You're looking at $500 to $1,000 in shipping for some people right now. So I honestly talk to your local bars and vendors around the area, and that would be my first starting point. I mean, back before I knew about the new machine coming out, I definitely talked to my vendors about I was going to start buying them up and offer him, see if he's got 10 machines for 10K, and then convert them all the home editions and sell them off to everybody for at 1,500 to 2,000. It was a good. It would have been a decent profit on it. That would be, if I really wanted one right now, that would be my route to go through. I would go through that. And then if I had the disposable income and I wanted a brand new one right now, I'd call Fitz and Roski and get it done that way through FS Gaming. A good thing about getting from those guys too, when you have a problem with things, they're very, very responsive with it. I've seen some companies that aren't quite as responsive, and I do want to put a word of warning out to people, especially those that are here that recently bought a machine or things of that nature. If you're ever doing anything with the trackball, let's say, all right, one, make sure you're grounded, but two, if you're doing something with the trackball, do not open that trackball up with the ball plugged in. Now, the second person I've heard that did that instantly fried their IO board, and now the trackball, you can't do anything with it. It's not the trackball either. It's a board that's got to get replaced, and it's a pain in the ass. So please, guys, if you don't know electronics and you're doing something with a piece of electronics, the first thing you do with that piece of electronics when you're messing with it is unplug it. I learned that when I was 7. You guys got to know that. Don't work on electronics when they're plugged in. Not a smart play. Please stop doing that. Or if you haven't done it, don't ever do it. I know it's just basic, a little bit of basic disclaimers for you right there, but it's a big one because it's just going to make you have a paperweight for a couple weeks while you're working on getting it fixed. Oh, you did it too, Heisenberg. Okay, see? And don't be scared of the trackball, guys. It is the least technical piece of equipment you'll ever see. It's super simple. It's really 2 wires, 2 boards, and a plug. That's it. You can't mess it up. You can't break it. You can break the plastic flywheel, but that's a 10-cent piece of plastic. But you can short out the components that are more specific to Golden Tee that you can't find very easily that you need IT's help on. Yeah, good man. See, there we go. And thanks for checking in, Eisenberg. How you doing tonight? So now I'm going to say that's 3 people I know of that have done this. I got greedy. I was trying to make that. Let's see if we can save the chip. Yeah, I want to try to get up at least one score on this event. Yeah, but guys, the major thing here, and this is just like with real golf or any skill type thing you do. Oh yeah, and it's funny because we hear so many times how bad IT support is because everybody's always questions online. No, no, no. It's the opposite of that. It's how good the support in the community is that we don't let the questions get to IT until we know it needs to go to IT. Yeah, funny thing about Rick is like Rick and another buddy that have home editions here. I didn't know them at all. My wife works with one of the two that has a home edition, and one that his wife works there. So it was funny how we ended up all meeting, and like I mean, one of them will go down and I'll have a match against him the next day, and he'll leave Chad Fisher will leave like a KFC honey packet there and say, "Hey, Marth," and with a note to my wife saying, "Hey, you tell him out to go use this to clean his trackball tonight." No, I'll show you that in a minute. No, it is adding it up. It actually takes the aggregate of everything that you've done with it. So if you I mean you can try it right now. Do a pullback halfway to the C and then all the way to the A, and watch it's going to come out. It's going to come closer to 2. Now what you're going to see though is that it's always going to be biased one way, because if you're counting it 5 equal parts as the reading in the backswing, then one of those readings one of it's going to be 3 to one way, 2 to the other, or 3 to the right, 2 to the left, because I mean that halfway one, you don't know where you're pulling it back to. I mean, you don't. Oh Christ, what is this? That's terrible. I don't think that's a putt. We're gonna do it though. It probably wasn't. I was kind of on the messed up fringe. Putting's a little different because it doesn't matter. The pullback only affects putting slightly. It's just ever so slightly. Like, I mean, let's say that pulling back to C or A will give you a knockdown of maybe like 5% off a putt. It's why we used it on rollovers. Just try to slow down rollovers. I think it's even less than that now. I'll bump into a casual game right now. Oh, I don't. So I'll do my first half of the swing to C and then to A. And notice how it's halfway. It's a halfway in between B and C because I did more than halfway to one direction. Let's try it less. Little bit back. Now the rest of the way. And that one's almost a full A, right? Okay, so that's going to be a common problem. My recommendation here when you're and that's mainly because of what we see when we look at this, right? When we're looking at this trackball that I've got here, look at how the layout is. When you're hitting to the left, you're keeping it directly on the contact of 2 rollers, right? So you have to keep contact with 2 rollers when you're going to the left. This is, to me, the single biggest problem with Golden Tee. And it's not the trackball. It's really the fact that the trackball they're using was designed to be mounted the way it's set up right here. In a perfect world, everything should be symmetrical. This ball should be turned a quarter turn to the right. You should have a roller going between the 2 and the choose club toward the A side, the 2 and the choose club going to the C side, and then a roller straight between the A and the C. Right? That would be perfectly symmetrical. You would have no difference between which shot I'm hitting. The problem is the code would then have to take an X and a Y reading out of each roller rather than having one be X, one be Y, and be done with it. Would it be simple? I think it wouldn't be too hard to figure out. Um, I think it would make the game a lot more accurate. Lefties would have an easier time playing it then too. The biggest problem is though, it's not a track. They don't design the trackball, so the mount is universally set up to read the way that we're saying right there. If you look at the bottom of all these arcade games with this size trackball, you would not be able to, you'd have to do some serious work to change the mounting plate on the deck, even just to do something like that. But it would make such a better and more consistent trackball experience when playing Golden Tee if we did that. If that was done, that would make everybody would think the trackballs are perfect almost all the time. And it's really funny too, because Mark, I tell people unplug it and stuff, yet I'll go in and finagle things too. But I know I'm grounded because of the rubber mats that I have on the floor. So I'm not worried about myself ever causing it. But it's things like that too, why I get really upset with people that talk about, oh, just pull the copper tape out of the ball. Yeah, most of the time it's not going to hurt you, but it can easily fry shit out. But the trackball's absolutely it. The trackball's perfect, guys. It's tried, it's tested, it's true, it's durable, it's very replaceable, it's easily maintained. The trackball's perfect. We do not need a new trackball whatsoever. My hand doesn't hurt anymore from hitting Paul. I don't need to. And honestly, hitting to the left with my left hand, with the way that A1s and C3s are now, it's not about how hard you hit it out there, it's where you're hitting it. And I had some really messed up nights when I was younger where me and another guy, we actually went in and we were melting plastic and molding in another one, like one that was almost a sealed trackball in, so you couldn't have the ball jump off the rollers. The problem that we ran into is if a bearing got any bit dirty, you couldn't spin the trackball anymore. So the way it is now, we want that free spin to it. But that's going to be your problem when you're hitting out to the three. Because of that design of the ball, you're not getting that reading right all the time. You're aiming it off the roller out to the right. So part of it is keeping the pressure on it when you're hitting it. And then the other part is don't aim outside of the three, right? It's why we hit the thing we call the spinner. All technical aspects says a spinner can be replicated exactly without spinning the trackball. You're not changing any input value to the game. All you're doing is, if I'm hitting to the three, if I have the ball spinning to the right there, when it's spinning to the right, I already have it boosting out to the right when I'm hitting it. So when I hit forward, I'm not losing 45% of my forward swing going out to the three. I'm keeping it at about the 2 3/4. So I'm keeping it down on the roller better, and I'm not losing as much of my forward swing going that way. Now, for me, it doesn't really matter as much because I kind of pound into the ball and I hit through it. Well, okay, so when we're looking at, let me pull up a game. Remember, the forward swing number is defined only by two factors, right? The number will be defined as such. Whether or not you have a pullback, doesn't matter where you pulled it back to, but where you do pull it back, whether or not you have a pullback, right? If I don't have a pullback, the max forward swing going straight to 2 is 123. If I have a pullback, and it doesn't matter which direction I pull it back to, the number is 142 going straight to 2. Now, thank you, Mike. Now, otherwise though, and that speed that you hit, and that shot, a straight shot B2 reading 142 is the same as me hitting this and hitting 152, right? That straight shot is the same. It's just that, and I want to say it was Dom Pescione that told me, yeah, well, we put this thing out there. We put out this shot meter, and when people hit A1s, it read like it was shooting, like it was reading 105 to 120 in that range, something like that, right? I'm not censoring. I haven't touched anything. But nobody is. I haven't touched them at all. So all it is it has a multiplier as it moves away from the tip of the two out directionally to make the number read higher. Internally, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter to the game, right? It's exactly the same. So really, a straight shot as you rotate it all the way around, it's the same. So the reason you see 150, so the max that it will allow it to go when you're aiming out directionally, and that is just inside of the 1 and the 3 and 2 the 1 and the 3 is 158. So you gotta it's incrementally smaller from, let's say, 1.2 down to 2.8 going back towards the middle. And I'm sure somebody could easily come up with a formula for it. It's not necessary because it's not repeatable to aim to a certain spot directionally every time. You just need to get a good idea for it. Now, if I'm hitting a C3, let's say, right? So I get my pullback. Now, the pullback on a C3, this is a big factor of it. And this is something newer to me. And it shocked even Luna when I told him. But Corey and I tested this. And after what Corey said, we went through and verified this is 100% true. And I got factual evidence that's out there that's been on streams. So we'll take a look at this right now. Your pullback is only defined in between the tip of the A and the tip of the C. There's no more pullback going out to choose club. Like that, if I pull back to choose club, it will show on the shot meter that I pulled it back to like this, like to choose club. That is the exact same as if I pulled it back to the tip of the C. Okay, so this makes cutting much more defined than we originally thought. Because before we thought we had 180 degrees of angles that you could pull the ball back that changed ball flight. We don't. We have half that. We have 90 degrees between the A and the C. And I'm just guessing, but I'm pretty sure that's a 90-degree angle. If I was designing things, I know in my head it would be a 90-degree angle. We could pull out a protractor and see, but I'm just going to say it's 90 degrees between the A and the C. So I only have 90 degrees of play on my cuts. That means each degree is twice as important as it was when we thought we had from choose club to choose club. That if you have 180 degrees, bam, 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 half that down, and it's very tight. So your pullback, it's really got to be defined. And that's why when you're playing your cuts, do this without stouts for a while. Get used to how much the ball breaks when you pull certain directions. Figure out by your pullback when you start seeing more speed by hitting it on the cut. I mean, more distance than when you hit it on the cut, because it's right at that 45-degree angle and you can see it on the shot meter, but that shot meter doesn't, I look at the shot meter of my opponent and then I apply it to what I do. I'm trying to make my hand motion copy the shot meter. I'm not copying my opponent's hand motion. It's why that not seeing the shot meter is a bigger deal. Like Stenmark hated having it on all the time when it first came out, because you could watch Stenmark's hands and get an idea of what his pullback was. But my hands are different. And if I tried to replicate exactly what his hands did on his pullback, my cut's going to be completely different. But if I'm trying to replicate what I see in a digital window, I can do that almost to a T. So really, don't nowadays. Before I used to say, watch your opponent, keep an eye on what they're doing. Now I say, don't watch your opponent, watch his shot, watch that shot meter. That piece of info will tell you everything you need to know from that moving forward. But start with like a Titan ball, or and I'll say this: if you're starting playing Golden Tee right now, your first month or two, or let's say first 500 games, you should be playing Titans. Really, it's a perfect all-around ball. It doesn't have any goofy characteristics that are totally unique to that ball. It's just that it has all positives on it, right? It's a long ball. It cuts well. The backspin's normal. The bounce is the same as a normal ball. So it's got all of the positives to it, right? Something like stouts, you have a factor that's totally changed that ball. Your stouts are cutting wind in half. That's the only ball that does that. So I can't adapt that to playing every other ball. Streaks, they go long and have less spin, a lot less spin. I can't adapt that amount of spin to everything else. And I'm going to say grabbers even. The bounce on grabbers is unique to grabbers. I can't adapt that to every other ball. But if I learn the base of all of that, I can adapt that to every other thing. You look at it like math. If you don't learn addition, how hard is it to learn multiplication? It's damn near impossible. So start with addition. Start with that. Start with that basic part of it, and then get into higher level stuff. Then you can adapt those things into what equipment you're playing, and you can visualize and conceptualize what you're doing with the other equipment, knowing that, okay, I know this cut for a 4 with the stock ball or with Titans is like this. But now that I got half the wind, I know I need to pull my pullback inside of where I did before, because I'm not going to cut it that much. Oh shit. Now, since it's only it's an 8 mile per hour wind, but it's only a 4. Why am I even going to bother cutting it when that will move it for 4 wind? So then you can just take all the theories and apply it to the game naturally. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't go a little crazy there, and I hope that makes perfect sense. And it's the same theory as why I tell people, as you're just starting, a lot of people are like, well, you should have a lob wedge if you're just starting. No, dude, get rid of that shit before you even use it. Because you can, if you get rid of that, if you get rid of the lob wedge right now, you never learned about how to chip with that. You don't want to chip with that lofted club. You're having to fight wind. You're having to do cuts on it. Get rid of it. It's an extra club that you don't need in their bag. Kelly, my opinions on the barrage ball. They're non-existent once Titan came out. Titans are barrage balls with more spin. There's no reason to not use Titans over the top of it. Barrage should have been replaced by Titans in my book. I went from the year of Agave, which was what, 2019? I was playing grabbers up until then. What I found with that is Agave 1 made me change from grabbers. Why? Because that bounce with the grabbers, you could not drive hole 1 of Agave with grabbers. It would always hit and plug in the face of the hill in front of the green. Okay. And I was like, all right, well, that's a chip normally. No, then I switched to barrage, and barrage bounces up, and you could drive it on there whenever it was set up for anyone else to get there. There's less spin than grabbers, fine, you get used to that. Then when 2020 came out and Titans were in the mix, I texted Adam Kramer and I was like, dude, you guys don't brag about these balls. I want to be the only ones using them. And we got to Richmond that year, and Duncan and I were the only 2 using them, and we kind of bulldozed everybody through the qualifier. Like I think he beat me by 1 stroke in the qualifier, but we were 4 strokes up on the next, something like that. And we were the only 2 plating Titans. And that goes back to someone who was watching the old stream. So that was 2018 and 2019. Sorry about that, not 2019-20. But they have the most positive characteristics of any ball out there. They really do. Now, some people might learn to like something about grabbers with the low bounce. That's fine. It could cost you strokes at some point in time, but that's fine. You know that going in. You're playing what you like. The same thing with stouts. Hey, yeah, the lack of distance can cost you a stroke. The positives far outweigh the 1 hole that could set up for you not to get it with. All right, so theoretical Golden Tee out the window. Let's play a little bit here. Sorry about that. But Kelly, the Titans are slightly longer than that. They have the same bounce, same cut, and they have a little bit more spin. Well, a lot more spin than that. So there's really no sense in using barrage anymore. Now, like I said, some people do like having a little bit more spin than streaks, and still have it where it leaks a little bit on shots. I don't. I think that ball should be gone, or it shouldn't be in play. And after doing my ultimate ball challenge thing, there's really, I mean, if I was looking at the balls available right now, stock would be there, stouts would be there, Titans would be there, streaks would be there. You don't really need any other balls. I can see with darts and razors are okay. Darts and razors have interesting, like the darts for people playing like not closest to the pin, but money shot. It can help out quite a bit. grabbers can help out in some of those situations too, where you want it to hit the green and die real quick. Okay, cool. Specialty balls. No, the rest of those balls that I mentioned there are the only ones that should be used in gameplay. Oh, he's wanted. How do I want to do this? All right, so this one might leave me a long shot, but I'm going to hit the one that doesn't leave me over in the sand, short and unplayable. I was kind of afraid that I was going to miss the bushes at that angle coming in. Yeah, I probably should have, Corey. You're right. A little low release. My thumbs are a little off right now. Yeah, why would you don't want to arrows are well, they're a specialty ball though. They're really only good for one or two situations. After playing around and screwing with them on courses, they are game breakingly bad in a lot of scenarios on courses where they help you out early. Gator, I literally had an Anse 18 with those that I had to hit a high T 8.5 driver on it. It made the shot almost impossible. So the benefit there was, yeah, driving one guaranteed, but I'll chip in a lot of the times without it. Oh, good, it didn't come all the way down. But yeah, those Gator, they're not. I tell you this: if somebody pulled out arrows against me in a match, I'm already inking that game in for a win. The benefits you get and the amount of holes that it can give you in something that's not a specialty type contest are wiped out with one hole setup, possibly. And without events mode this last 2 weeks, I never even would have thought to use those damn balls. All right, let's go with backspin on this. Oh, we just got raw. Oh, shit. I don't know, man. I just had to do that in a game. What video game was I playing? I mean, I was beating myself. Oh, I was playing Diablo recently. Ah. And if you notice, especially in events like this, I'm not going for points very often. Because you're going to see, I'm giving shots a chance to go in rather than stop close to the hole. I'll miss a lot of holes like that, but I'm always trying to give it a chance to rip in. And I laid off of that. And then I go against it. Oh, absolutely. I don't know if the forward clears this with no T. I'm thinking it does, though. I mean, the 6-wood. I don't know why I always say 6-wood. Whenever I'm looking at it's because it's 260 for my 4-wood. Yeah, they are fun, but man, they are game-breakingly bad when you're in contests. All right, so how do I want to play this? Do I want to bounce it up short? Do I want to fly over the top of it? Do I want to cut it? I'm just going to smoothie this pretty much dead straight. I didn't get aggressive at that because if, let's say, I hit that hard enough to catch the green on a fly and I caught the front fringe, I could easily be playing with the back. Or even if I hit a little too hard and caught green first, I might not be hitting the green. I hate this hole. I don't ever ace this hole. It's because I use a 5-iron, 7-iron. it would be a good 5 hybrid thumb shot in a lot of situations, and a lot of times it's a perfect 7-iron thumb shot. I mean, a 6-iron thumb shot. All right, we got a chance of making this one. I'm going to release this, and it's going to go past the hole with the release, but I need it to get to the hole. And I want it to land and then go straight ahead rather than slowly trickle forward. So if I didn't have release on that, that ball would have just bounced and kind of nothing about it. It certainly is. It certainly is. Oh, and that's the other part about a gator is you get comfortable that you're hitting 180s, and then you have that one you miss when you're trying to go over an obstacle. And then the other part is at a tournament, you're not playing on the same ball that you play on at home every day, where my 180s are damn near perfect at home. If I go to a tournament, I might be off a degree or two, just based off of the different trackball or the different oils on people's hands. Or for me, the fact that I'm wearing shoes one day and I'm standing on a yeah, I thought about that too, Paul. Or I'm standing on a mat, or the floor's a little uneven. I mean, shit like that, you got to count into it that that you really couldn't possibly use arrows in a circumstance like that. Man, you're my best friend. All right, we're okay so far. Now, it might be something interesting if you know that your opponent is better than you. And you're like, well, fuck, I need to hopefully play it perfect and get this advantage of driving this hole to beat this person. Well, that's a different scenario. I mean, I remember back when I didn't play a lot in the 2000, it was like the Celtic year, the year of the Celtic courses. I was really just a part-time, right? No, different oils on people's hands and shit. That's all. But and I'm in a match against Gossett, right? And we're tied going into 18 at Celtic, and he lays up. And I sit there and I look to myself and I go, well, fuck. He's plays a ton more than me. And if I lay up, we're both gonna tie. Okay, cool. We're going into sudden death. Am I gonna win in sudden death? The fact that I've played 1,000 games and he's played 8,000 games this year? No, the odds are in his favor. So I'm gonna try to hit this hard shot and stick 18 to win the match. And I mean, it worked out in that time, but you got to have those kind of internal conversations are going on a lot in matches. That's why we've been trying to get remote mics set up for a couple of us playing during the qualifier, just so we can kind of give you, I mean, talk you through what we're actually thinking while playing in a qualifier, let's say, because the thought process is totally different than what's in a match. And during a match, you couldn't really do this because it could be off-putting to your opponent. But during a qualifier, I think if we had a group of people, it would work out fine. Okay, so that one will hold for a minute. It's decent points, too. So we got a one better with decent points. I'm thinking two betters are probably here. But come to think about it, though, there's not really that many. There's not that many ace holes in here. There's a couple par threes. But let's just go 2 betters, 3 1-betters. So you're looking at 3 28s, puts you at 56, 84. And then another, I don't know, I'm doing the math all wrong. Somebody add that up. 3 28s, 2 29s. That's what my number for this week should be. All right, if I nut this, $20 donation. This has a chance of going in. Nope, need a real backspin. Sucks. God damn it. We need the money, guys. We need the money. All right, we're going to play this a little different for me. Now, I know, see, people say the 5-iron's broken. It is absolutely not broken. It just doesn't thumb as far as a 5 hybrid does off the distance of the club. So I know here, but it's always consistent, right? So what I'm going to do here is this. Thumb it with high T. Oh, it's so broken. That motherfucker is broken raw. So that's another part of your game you got to look at. If you're working on your thumb shots, you want to learn your distance with your clubs. And it doesn't have to be exact, just know what you can do with them, right? Then also know that you can high tee the same club and hit it with release. You can low tee that same club and hit it with release. You can do a lot to it to make one club account for 50 different yards in distance. Yep, go figure. Pull out and then hit the center of a tree. It happens on that hole. Let's see if we can save a clean round here. Nope. And it's a little different when you're chipping at. It's a little different when you're chipping on like an events mode or things like that. Because I kind of had already given up on that shot. I mean, yeah, I would have been clean if I missed it, but if I made it still. But it's still like in my head, like, oh, I'm one off this game now. Even though I got a hole out. So I don't want to. I had already resigned to quitting that, even though I could have been fine with it. Yeah, with the pins on the left, it's especially challenging. On the right, you got bigger gaps, but there's a lot more trees on the other side. Okay, see this one, I'm just going to flip thumb the 4-iron and hopefully catch the green right next to the pin, then one hop right back in. And I murder thumb that. Shit. I did not mean to. I was hoping to hit that 81, 82. When I hit that. Okay, pins at the bottom here. This is when I'm actually contemplating not playing it into the branches. The problem is my line. And here's a good trick too. The flyby will tell you how far off your line is, right? So we're offset to the left by about 5 yards here. The problem is my line is going straight at that tree towards the pin. If you watched, it turns you directly at that tree going to the pin line. So I know that my line is straight through that tree is that pin. So I'm going to have to play a little bit of a cut here. And we're going to actually high tee it. Little baby cut. Throw it out toward the left tree of the bigger gap here and let it float in. I'm almost hoping this misses all the branches, but if it hits them, it's not a big deal. And I overcut it a little bit, but you see the speed was perfect, so that's good. I mean, it's not a hole that, I mean, it's not a real good ace look, put it that way. In between clubs for me. And this is where, on a shot like this, I'm defining my spin right away. All right. Can I hit this and land it there? And also, when I'm on short par threes, I'm always looking for a thumb shot first, right? I always want a thumb shot. I want to take the variable out where I could hook or slice it at all on accident. So I'm looking at a thumb shot here, right? All right. Can I thumb it and make it by hitting behind the pin? That looks like I have only such a small area I can land in to do that. Or play for the one hop, and that's not a great idea. So I'm going to be playing it short of the hole. What's my club to do that? Can I thumb my 8-iron and get it there? No, I can't. So I'm using this, and I'm just going to flip thumb this with bite and hopefully trickle it in. I don't think I got it left enough. I mean, and it's those simple calculations. I'm not exact on anything there. I'm just taking best case scenario in. Like, what can I make it do at the least amount of risk? Can I land short and make this? Yeah, but I don't have a lot of green to work with. So my shot here is to go past the hole and backspin it. Well, 6-wood's my club. I know this 6-wood's really short. I've only got a 4.5 outwind. I'm just flipping this dead straight from here. And we're just giving it the best chance of going in we can. That's really it. Now, on that one, if I thought about that a little longer, I probably would have moved it back on the box a little bit because with that outwind, could it possibly not get back to the hole on that shot? The answer was yes, and we just saw that. This is going into where the cutting helps, right? All right, I have no straight line at this hole unless I had a specialty club. Cool. So my goal here is to get the curve to where my bounce is almost flat and pulling it to the left. Now, in order to do that, you're going to play up a club. And if you guys watch, when I'm playing cut shots, almost all the time I'm 1 or 2 clubs higher. Like on this shot, the 4-wood is out the window to me. I'm not playing that. I'm going 3-wood, possibly 10.5. And when I hit my cuts that I'm trying to do this on, you watch, I don't hit them hard at all because I'm more accurate with my cut. I can make sure by keeping pressure on the ball through the whole shot that I don't get a misread of it reading dead straight on me. When I have a cut and a hammer shot, well, when you're hammering out to the right, you have a chance that that ball just misses that left-right roller because of what we looked at when we looked at this picture, when we look at this graphic. Well, if I'm doing the math on it and I'm hitting this way, I'm popping off that left-right roller right away. So it has a really good chance of reading just forward and not reading to the right at all, just because of the physics of it. So we want to have a shot that we maintain contact to it. It's the same reason why I tell people that a perfect example, I was playing Tink in the first round in Richmond, and I stroke limited a hole, and I was the 2 seed and he was the 31 seed. I stroke limited a hole, and I was first at worried, and then I was watching how he putted. And when he putted, this is how he was putting, right? And hitting the ball, popping at it every time, every putt. So I sat there and I figured I'd still win because every one of the putts that he was hitting out to the right, he'd pop at it and it would he'd miss it inside on the left breakers. And I told him at the end of the round, after I got a lead, I stopped him on like hole 15. I was like, all right, dude, don't slap at the ball. Keep your hand in contact with the ball. Pull back and do the same thing. He didn't miss a putt again the rest of that night. Because by keeping contact on it, it allowed him to get the right readings. Because where he was aiming was perfect. It just wasn't doing what he was telling it to do. And that's because of the design of the trackball. Everybody does that make sense with everybody? It's not about what you're doing. It's about what you're doing and how it can affect on the trackball. So I'll play the 10.5 here. I don't need to cut the 10.5 a lot because we know that the 10.5 snaps more. So man, I say it snaps more. Your cuts will make it turn. It will make it turn faster than if you're playing a 3-wood, a 4-wood, or a 5-wood, right? And it gets dramatically. It goes down like it's weird. The 8.5 driver will cut less than the 10.5, and the 3-wood will cut less than the 10.5. So it's like if we were looking at a cut chart, you got a driver, 10.5, 3-wood, 4-wood, 5-wood, 6-wood down here. They cut less as you go down then. And then when you get to low hybrids, like the 2 hybrid will cut more than a 2-iron. And that's just learning those clubs. And I threw it out too far. That was terrible. Shit. I didn't even think about the tree on the right. But that angle I hit, I noticed I only hit that 108. Right? And 108, okay, perfect. So I'm hitting 108 with a 300-yard club. That's going to make that ball go roughly 280. And if that hits the green at 280, that angle that it kicks back is right towards the pin. Is that the same with chipping? Yeah, you'll have that same problem with chipping. The thing with chipping is you're normally not hitting it as hard, but you do have a hard time aiming slightly right when you're chipping. Right? Most people do. I can make my chips where I aim to the left. No, I'm sorry, I'm backwards. And chipping, it's a little backwards on that. And that's because you're holding contact. Okay, when I'm aiming at that roller, it's very dramatic. It holds it down. It holds it there. So if I have to aim left, it aims left dramatically because you're there. When I'm aiming right, you can aim right a little easier, and that you can't be as fine-tuned aiming to the right. So that's why when I'm having right chips, I pretty much don't try to aim to the left on right chips. I try to do it with my pullback with the cut. It's the cut chip comes into play quite a bit. All right, we're starting this one again. Whoops. And trust me, that's not just you. Everybody has problems aiming to the hitting chips from like your right breaking chips, the ones you have to aim left on. And it's just because it's holding contact with that roller, so any little bit is making it shoot directionally farther. At least that's what I'd like to think on those. It's got to be that though. I mean, we all know there's a difference aiming right or left on chips. We all can aim the left 5 breaking chips. We're all think are gimmies. Right 5 breaking chips are a goddamn. It's like a Discovery Zone show. And then you take into account that I have a natural right bias on my pullback on the slow ones, and it becomes a goddamn adventure while I'm trying to hit that. So it's not necessarily about you aiming incorrectly. It's how your aim and how your shots are being affected by the equipment in front of you. Right? So that's where Golden Tee is its most frustrating. And that's why I say I wish the trackball was designed like how I said, like this, rather than like this or like this. It would be a better experience, but it's not. And we got hopes and dreams don't get it done. All right, we're gonna try to hit the 6 wood and get it there. It's the only way I'm gonna make this. I whiffed the ball. What the fuck? God damn. Nope. No good. Anytime, Eisenberg. I've told people the greatest improvement I had in Golden Tee for myself was the first time I took apart a trackball and I understood what the hell was going on with it. Like, oh my God, this is so simple. And all of the rest of this shit makes so much more sense now that I saw what it does. And then I mean, helping get rid of the 120 glitch once the shot meter came out. Ooh, Luna with a question. Let's see what he's got. And guys, remember too, it can be something totally internally too. Like the way that you hit the trackball might be flying against what I'm saying here. But now that you understand how it works and see it, you can then understand why it's doing such a thing. I know we've all seen where we've thought we've hammered a ball and it went straight. Well, you jump off the roller sometimes when it happens. All right, we're gonna hit this one with thumbs bite. Ah. Okay, throughout your goal. Well, okay, so and it hasn't been changes to my game. Honestly, one of the most detrimental things to my game coming up, I got 120 glitched quite a bit, right? I did. And there was something in the way that I was hitting. There's something in the way that I hit. And it might have had to do with the fact that I hit really good straight shots. A lot of people that said they can't hit 180s very well. Well, there were multiple matches, and Paul, you got to experience your TOC one. You beat me on that Ruby Rock game because I watered that one par 5 early twice in sudden death and early in the game. Even though I hit perfect shots, I got 120 and the ball just dropped short and wet. So once the shot meter came out and I started looking at that, like, wait a minute, dude. this isn't me doing any different on this. There is no reason that ball should be reading 120. And then getting to actually work with the guy at IT and hit through some stuff. So for me, that was one of the biggest breakthroughs for me. And then also from that same aspect of it, we had thought through history of Golden Tee that just offset, just barely missed cut shots dramatically dropped your distance on them. And that is just not true. It's a steady decrease, a decline with your cuts and how much distance you lose. So it was a glitch in code that was causing it to be a dramatic drop. So I mean that ended up that blew me away. The other big thing though, and this was another recent one, all of this stuff would not be possible to see without the shot meter unless we had some kind of readings, but the readings would have even been wrong. But the fact that we found out that the cuts only matter between the A and the C and there's nothing outside of that was a huge breakthrough to me too. It changes how more precise you had to be on your cuts. And that definitely refines things. The problem with that is that we've learned that now playing stouts, and with stouts you don't use it nearly as much. And yes, Justin, you are correct on that. Okay, so the 120 glitch was a weird, and I'm gonna just go through this really slow, really quick, right? The 120 glitch was a glitch that on your forward swing, the game was almost thinking you did your forward swing without a pullback, meaning like even though you did a pullback and hit your shot and it should read 140s, 142, it was reading as if you didn't have a pullback, but it still had its cut on it and things. So the distance would be 15-20% less than what you thought it should be. I mean, there was that par 5 on Beals that used to be really hard where it was when it was a long setup. Now with no 120 glitch, you clear it every time. I've never had a setup where I can't go over it. But before we'd have to worry about that and think like, okay, is this going to get over it? And it turned out to be just a misread, not a misread. And it was kind of weird because like when we were testing it, like half the shots were having the same factors that were giving you the 120 glitch, but not killing the distance on it. So he just changed something in the swing code that forced it to have two readings on the forward swing where and never not only have just one. And that then fixed it. It fixed it. It meant it took two readings and then it fixed it. Blah blah blah. I think it was Luna was there with one of the first tests. Where he was at IT, and I think the first one was one of the tests they tried. Like, okay, it looks great. Yeah, you couldn't thumb the ball anymore. It just wouldn't go. It just wouldn't start. So it was a glitch in coding that needed to get fixed. And since that point, it's changed C3s and A1s and made them less likely to hit 158s. Up until that 120, I could always go up, hit a C3 or an A1, hit it 158. I could do it every time. Now it's almost impossible to hit a 158. You get them rarely, randomly, but it's hard to do it on a consistent basis. But luckily, you got your machine. No, not at all. It's fixed. That part is totally fixed. Nope, not at all. There's really no glitches right now that the average player should be looking at, worrying about. I mean, yeah, we all have the watchdog thing, but I don't consider that a glitch. That's not something you're doing to make it happen. But that's it should be midnight tonight. Should get that thing repaired. Oh, when I just hit it and not talk about it, it's not that hard. Shit. This being offset drives me nuts. Hopefully that answers your question, Paul. Okay, so So here's a story. I got stories for everything. My neighbor, or he lives across the street, Jeremiah. Uh, we're he's solid 26 to 29 handicap, depending on the day. But when we started playing together, he didn't thumb at all, right? And we were out playing the events mode to qualify for Worlds on the par 3 contest. And we were playing 2-player games. Now, the joy of it is, and we're playing 2-player games, and at that point in time, you could skip turn during events. So I'd hit, he'd skip to me if he got an ace, and I'd go first the whole time. But the first day we were out doing it for him to try to make Worlds, he didn't thumb shots. And I mean, I think in a 5-game span, I put up a 5-better, 2 3-betters, a 4-better, something like that. It was because I'm thumbing the ball. This is before we even started using stouts. He went home that night and literally played CTTP at home casual mode for hours on end. And all he looked at was being able to hit like he kept telling himself, try to hit a number, right? And I mean, based off of what I was doing is my numbers are between, I thumb between 80 and 98, let's say. 98's a rarity, 80's a lot less rare because for me, the harder you thumb, the more inaccurate it gets. When we went back to play the next day, he was thumbing shots right behind me. And we even played a different set of clubs, and he realized that his 5 hybrid is almost identical to my 9 wood in distance. So he was, when I would thumb a 5 wood at a 9 wood at something, he was going at it with his 5 hybrid and having good results. Well, he ended up making qualifying for Worlds on that event, and never thumbing before that event. No, Civ, it doesn't do it instantly. It pushes out. I think they do staggered rollouts on it. There's no real way to force it to patch too. Just leave your machine on. It might catch and at the end of a round say, hey, we need to reboot to apply a patch. So there's nothing you have to do on it. Hi, John. And guys, also, let me pay the bills kind of thing here. If you haven't gotten to, go to the YouTube channel, gt.live/themouth. Subscribe, subscribe on the Facebook channel and Twitch as well. More viewers, more things we get to do. Hopefully at some point get to monetize a little bit. Allows me to get more creative. And then also, if we could get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube before the 20th, when we do our, not this 20th, February 20th, when we're doing the 24-hour live stream for Meals on Wheels, I'm going to do something. I'm going to give a special thing away that night. Shit. Oh, thanks, John. Yes, I will see you tomorrow, buddy. God damn, they're giving us a bad setup for this hole. Shit, I thought that said 250. God damn it. I put this tee in the wrong spot. Now I have to go around this way. We're going to try to hit a full, and I don't ever do this. I guess that's acceptable. All right, we got it. That's good. Another one here. I'm going to play it to bounce up. I'm going to play it to bounce short and then kick on. That's all we could really do. I can't get aggressive on that one. Damn it. All right, so what other questions we got? These have been good. Got me going. Fuck. I kind of feel like the ball's actually breaking it a bit. Oh, well, I mean, you bump in. I mean, I'm over 100,000 games lifetime now. So if it hadn't gotten effortless at this point, probably should think of something else. No way. How do you blow that? All right. Lucky. Yeah, you want to just find something consistent. Okay, so I qualified at Worlds with Dean Leakakis last year. Yeah, very true. But the biggest thing about thumb shots, guys, it doesn't matter how hard you hit it. If you can always hit it the same speed, fantastic. The best part of that is you've taken the variable out of the game, and now you only have to worry about one of them. Thank you, Lucko. This one's a tough one to judge the speed on. I'm probably going to go in the snow long here, but that's okay because it's not going to roll over it. It's going to stop right there. A lot of the times it's even a putt. Now we got to look, though. Technically, I probably should chip this, but I know it's getting there, so it's fine. Yeah, quite a bit. Jeremy, that's just all defining. It's defining. It depends on the obstacle and what I need to get around. A lot of the times when I'm doing those, I'm hitting it and I need it to turn a little bit more. So I'm going to do, instead of a flat B, and if I'm going B1, I'm going to have it just a click to the left of the B and then hit it to 1, just because it feels like it gets the curve starting more. If you hit a straight B and throw it out to the 1, it hangs a lot. Now, the other one, though, okay, and this is going to kind of blow your mind. Take a B1 and take your forward swing and rotate it to the 2, and that's going to show you what kind of cut you're having on it. So if I'm at a B1, that's technically an A2, but starting it off at an angle going that way. So I can play the same amount of cut on a shot, but let's say I need to cut it back to the right and I need to get it around an obstacle, but I have a left to right wind. So in something like that, I might pull it to the right of the B and then throw it further outside. I'm going to get the cut as if I did like a half cut, half 1 to 1.5. But it's going to start by me facing that way. And it's you gotta kind of visualize the concept that I'm giving you there a little bit. Shit, that's a bad shot. Oh. So, and that's once you get the base of your cuts, like how you're cutting the ball, you can just rotate that to account for obstacles. If that makes sense. It makes sense in my head. And that will change a little bit because if I don't pull back the more than halfway between B, but you're getting an idea on the cut. You're not getting that snap cut. If I pulled a B and hit it to the 1, it's not giving me that full snap like as if I've hit an A2. So you do have to account that, but it's a great way to visualize how the cut's going to work. And then by repeating it a few times, you'll realize that it's not snap. It's not going to have, the distance isn't going to snap and give you that extra, like that torque that you get from a C1 or, I mean, a C2 or a C2 or an A2. But it will have that same kind of angle. Oh. All right. I don't like the 4-iron to check back enough here. So we're going to do the high 5 with bite. That high 5 with bite is really good to control. Oh, definitely, Chucko. We're gonna get the telestrator hooked up here and start going. Richard and I are gonna go through and get We're going to go back and we're going to redo course walkthroughs on all of the old courses. But we're not going to do that till after the 24-hour thing. Richard's putting in a lot of work for the 24-hour thing right now. So we don't want to put too much on his plate, man. But I haven't talked to him. He did go to the doctor, so I think he might be feeling better now. So that's good. All right, this is a bad look for me. I don't like this at all. The 5-iron's the club to hit, but in order to hit the 5-iron past the hole where I can backspin this in, I would have to pull it back, right? And pulling it back, you're gonna miss the 180 a bit. The 4-iron, it's too hot. It's gonna be coming in a too low trajectory that I'm never gonna back it up enough. So really, the only way to make this is with the 5. I'm gonna try to not pull it back and hillbilly it with no pullback. And I got the speed and the pullback on it. It's just I had to hit it harder. And when you have to hit harder, you're going to miss your line a little bit. Yeah, it's the 20th of February we're going to do it. And we're deciding whether we're going to start at noon, 11 a.m., or 10 a.m., but it's going to be in that range. So we're looking at February 20th, which is the second Saturday after the Super Bowl. Now, see that shot there, I didn't even try to go at the pin. I was just safe and had a putt. If I went at the pin, chances of me sticking the green go down quite a bit. But we got a good look here. All right, so I used the flyby there because I can tell by the flyby, it's a little bit offset to the left, right? You can see my character's turning, and you can barely tell, but it's moving a little bit to the right. So I got to get this thing straight. I got to be to the right, where my pin marker on the left has to be slightly right of the hole. And then I murder thumbed it. And I had the line pretty well done, but I thumbed it a little bit harder than I wanted. Yeah, a bit, exactly. Oh, I haven't gotten bet lines out there, but it's going to be hard to be consistent with scores because there's going to be an option for whoever I'm playing in the invite to donate $10 to randomize my clubs and $10 to randomize my balls. It's going to be one of the big ways of getting some donations raised. That's also going to affect the amount of games I'm going to get in the 24 hours quite a bit. I'm going to get 2 sets of cycles and invites done. It's set up. So I'm going to have about 170 some invites ready to go. But I won't get through. There's no way I'm getting through 2 entire cycles. And if it was, I think it would have to be 8 minutes and 20 seconds a game. That's between, even with starting, even like total, like that's not accounting for starting and stopping. So with the login times and picking your course. What, the looking up? Well, there's this one too. All right, we're gonna go with no high T, and we're gonna murder this. It's funny sometimes going back and playing. I don't think I ever not high T'd that. Absolutely, I'm gonna get on a list soon. All right, so now where this pin is now, I'm playing up a club, and I'm gonna hit a cut shot at that's at like the 100 to 110 range because I wanted to have a pretty good bounce going forward And then I also wanted to have enough cut that I might have a way to check around the corner. Now, if I hit that a little softer, I hit right in that little gully by the green, and that could have shot it right up at the hole. Yeah, we all are, man. I need that kid to be healthy. Surprisingly enough, probably the best power putt player ever to live will be on my stream, but he'll be playing music. Yeah, power putt used to piss me off because at the Marcade in Burnsville, I had a power putt in there as well. And like I would play the daily every day and leave when I'd leave at 9 p.m. I'd be in first every day. And no matter what, I got third place every day. Steve Dakin, Steve Tyree would have first, beat me every time. Oh, Rick, you'll get to go back and see a lot of stuff tonight. We talked about quite a bit. I went into a lot of theoretical Golden Tee tonight. And guys, I hope you know that a lot of the tests that we're doing, it's all theoretical. You have to learn to apply it because none of it's 100% repeatable. It's those people that can repeat those the best that end up becoming the best. It's like Haas was a goddamn robot machine with his thumbs. It was ridiculous. All right. I think we got a chance of making this. I'm pushing everything left on those, though. That's not good. All right. My palm shot like that's a little left. I know that now. I know that going now. All right. Wait, let's ace 18. What's the best way I could hit to ace this? The high tee? High tee's a little tough because it's not going to come back down the hill. So I'm going to back it up. I'll high tee it. I might wet this even. Yeah, see, it's not going to come back down the hill. No, Steve Tyree is a really good guy. I didn't get to know him as well. I mean, I've been around a long time. I didn't get to know him as personally well, but all the interactions I had with him were fantastic. All right, let's see if I can get a two better real quick. I'm going to play this now and not talk through it. Now let's see. Now, Luna, with some of the stuff I'm describing, does that fly in the face of anything that you do, though? I mean, because obviously some of the top guys. I hate when I say that. I feel conceited, but I guess I could say some of us top guys. Some of us top guys like might disagree on some of the things that I'm saying. For the most part, they will be wrong, but we might disagree, and I can admit when I've got something off. But Luna's a great resource if he's here. And guys, when he starts streaming, he's going to be one to watch. He plays the game a bit different than me. Obviously applies a lot of the things that we talked about, but does it in a different way. Thanks, Mark. I am. I mean, I'm great. I know it. Enough about me, though. What do you guys think about me? I put it up a minute ago, but Richard's not here. I don't know how to edit the ball bag thing that he has set up. Right now, I'm just playing my standard bag with stouts. Hole threes notoriously are either par threes or pretty easy drivable par fours. Tree. Rip. Well, I haven't. I haven't gone over the chush. Now, like I said, I'm not a good shusher, but I am good at raw dogging. I have gotten quite good, but my method of chushing is not the most accurate, and I do it differently. I can explain it correctly to you guys, and actually, after I finish this game, I'll go into a casual round, and I'll just hit some chushes off the tee and just show you what we're trying to accomplish, and a good way to practice you. But there's some internal stuff you have to do with chushing to figure out how it's going to work for you and what clubs you want to use. Now, the real answer to chushing is that each club has a minimum distance has a maximum distance it will go at the minimum forward ball speed. So, which is 35 miles per hour, straight shot. Each club has a max on those. Now, the chush is really only used for like flat shots, but can be used in a variety of them. Like if you got a crosswind and a wind and a break pushing the other way, well, once you get good at it, you could realize that they've evened themselves out. So your goal is to hit dead straight forward, soft, at 35 miles per hour. If you can do that consistently, which a lot of people have found that you can basically make your flat chips dead straight shots in with a high speed club. So I mean, you can hit them with like a driver from 80 yards away with that. Notice though in that cut, I did a half cut. Yep, it stays low and also takes a lot of wind out of play on it too. Now, when I chush, my speed on my chush is about 42 to 45 miles per hour. It's still slow enough that I can know the distances. The problem is that I can end up having some side break on them when I don't want them. I mean, the whole thing is if you're hitting the ball that slow, dead straight forward, even if you're a click or two off, you're not moving the ball fast enough to get a left or right reading. So you're almost taking the roller out of play. It can, Michael. It does. It does. It does and it doesn't. Because you see, well, not as much as you think. Now that I'm kind of working the question out of my head, Michael. All right, broke down the angles on curve shot, but the ball speed doesn't affect the amount of curve done. Okay. Yes and no. A C3 is gonna have, if you pull full C, you're gonna have a big snap. No matter if I hit it 100 or 150. If you look at the angles to find when you're hitting those, and it's a really hard test to repeat, it's just gonna change the curve, and you're gonna have like if I had, it's gonna have an arc like this with 100. With a 150, it's gonna have an arc like this. But that curve, it's gonna still have the same parabolic curve to it, or similar to it. Obviously, there's going to be other factors to go into it because you can't really repeat the shot. You can't really repeat the shot in a testing environment. There's no real way to do it. But the difference is going to be the most important part of that swing is going to be your pullback directly. Yeah, I bet I can't. This one's a little bit of a tough nut, dude. It's going to be a tough enough to crack. I'm just happy getting that up there. I would never. That was a bad one. I definitely have another nut coming here, though. Fuck. Yeah, he may have. All right, that wind. That looks dead straight. That arrow's bobbling, but when it's bobbling like that, you can pretty assume it's pretty straight. I'm not though. Shit. Shoot an apple. Yeah, you can get and the other part about that is that they'll help you switch to any other balls too. Grabbers are kind of a specific ball. Come on, there we go. Notice how Jeremy, if you go back, that one was closer to a B1. I undercut the backswing and threw it out farther because I wanted the cut like it was just a little bit of a cut, but I needed to get it around an obstacle though too. Now they keep giving me this look and I don't like it. That's all I was going for. I didn't want to fly that. Ah, Gavin. Yeah, whatever. Gavin's Gavin, man. I pushed that right. Damn it. It's one of the first times I could run at that hole. Am I part of the disease singing? Ah. This one sucks because it was too much wind for me to move the tee and hit it straight. That's when stouts aren't that great because now I got to move it and hit some side door on it. Oh, this has hole out. This has a hole out potential, I think. Oh, there was definite hole out potential there, though. And hello, CJ. How are you tonight? All right, let's get this. This hole has always been a nemesis of mine. I rarely ace this. It's because the problem is it's so uphill that you got to hit it hard enough. You got to hit it hard enough to get it up there, but then it's going to bounce at such a trajectory that it's not going to come back. I'm going to try to go straight. I want to hit rough first and then one hop in. I don't see any way of it going in if I don't do that. I don't see any way that that making that without bouncing it short and going right in. Well, that's not good. And this kind of sucks. This is where getting into cuts with stouts is actually harder. If I was playing like a Titan here, this cut shot's not as bad. I don't have any real risk of, unless I pull it full A, that I cut it and pull it over the right-hand side. With this, it's only a 6.5 wind. I'm going to cut, if I cut this any bit more than 1 or 2 clicks, I'm going to snap this over the edge, and over the edge to the right is jail. But we got to do it. We got to go for that. So this one, I'm almost looking to pull it straight back to B. God, if I backspun that, I had the line pretty well. But then again, though, if it misses the hole with backspin on that, I have a definite chance of going over the edge there, too. All right, so we got another one better up. All right, so real quick, I'll go through chushes with you a little bit. And if I'm ever get really off on my chushing, like I'm spraying it really bad, I'll come into a casual game. And I'm not looking at what club I'm hitting or anything here. I mean, you can use it to get your distances, but all I'm trying to do is get a low number and hit it straight. A little off. 41, I'm a little off to the side. Still a little off right. So I'm pushing everything right. That was pretty good. Now I got a straight one. So now I'm getting the feel. Now, the other way that I've seen people doing this, it's really good, the one finger on top of the ball and just push down with it. None of it, I'm really hit or miss by using this. I'm spraying everything a little directionally. That was pretty good. But that 45 I found ends up being about my sweet spot. Now, there's a ton of techniques. I want to say that Luna and Gossett, JoJo, all 2 fingers on top of the ball and just pop straight down like that. But if you look, I'm always really long when I do that. And I spray it. So I don't like that technique. There's another one where people just back like that, but I'm too firm on it. Yeah, see, I can't keep it that low with that shot. But with this, I can get pretty close. But once again, though, they're really goofy. Well, okay, the perfect shush is 35 miles per hour. If you can get that speed down right, that's your shot, because that's the min. And see, you can get it down. So that 35 is the speed. But when I go that low, I find myself spraying. I personally hate the shot, but it's in the game. It is what it is. I really don't like it. There are some spots, though, that it's really useful, though. And the theory behind it, though, is just get it dead straight with the shortest club. So then you find your low distance with whatever club you're doing and what miles per hour you're doing. For me, I don't have an exact one. I've got a basis in there where I know that the club will get to the hole or past it. And it's not going to be rocketing past the hole so hard that it rolls over. So, like, I mean, if I'm 40 yards away, I'm chushing a 5-iron most of the time with stouts. That's me. I think that's probably a 4-iron at 35 miles per hour, and whatever clubs you have in your bag. So it changes up a little bit on it. Now, I'll probably be killing tonight at about 10:30 because I want to get some sleep. I'm driving down to Chicago in the morning, so I want to get a little bit of extra Z's. That's basically it, man. Yeah, based on the ball you're playing. You learn the distances based on the ball you're playing. And then you realize how much wind can be used. Like stouts, you can play like you could basically do chushes on like a 5-mile-per-hour crosswind because it's not pushing it enough to miss the line of the hole. But once again, now you're chipping with getting rid of a variable. That's all you're doing. That's exactly where it becomes most useful. This is war. Anytime, sir. I don't use the chush a lot, and part of it is the way my technique. If I'm at a tournament and the deck gets sticky or it's too hot, I stick to the deck and I spray it everywhere. When I'm doing my smooth, my one motion chip, I don't have that problem. CJ, when you chush, how do you chush? Are you a thumb chusher? I mean, I'm of the firm belief that they should make the limit on the low side of things higher, and that would get rid of chushing altogether. Yeah, see, I don't have that. I can't chip with my thumbs are just too sticky for me. Like I don't have that micro twitch muscle there that allows me to control that distance that well. I'm sure I could teach myself, but my hope is it's gone before then. Again, look at how bad this look is twice in a row. They kind of have recently, because if you look, most of the surfaces right off the green now are a heavier rough, where it used to all be rough or fringe. You'll get heavy rough in a lot of areas now that that are different than it used to be. And I don't like that aspect of it. Nice miss. God damn it. That was too good. Ken's been up here every single game. Let's make it pay. Let's make him pay. That hit something. That had to have. All right. This is a bad look, but also not terrible. I didn't get it out enough. Let's hold this out and save this game. Nope. Game over. It's done. Let me see if I got any invites to play that I can knock out. I think I got one or two on here. All right, I'm at 29. I've got... You know what? I'm going to knock out... I got these handicap league ones. Let's go through these. Hopefully we don't see any -7s or 6s again this time, but... The handicaps look pretty good now, though. Well, this course I'd have to shoot 2 better to get to my handicap. So I'd be happy with a +1 or +2. That sucks. I wanted that to be drivable or somewhat close. Points are good. We're going to stack up the points because you get a point for being the most points in a round. God, I thought that was good. Shit. All right, hopefully a couple of these holes can set up a little challenging, and hopefully everybody blows it on them. Like this one could be challenging. Didn't want to hit that, but I'm okay. I'll take it. Ooh, that helps. I'm kind of hoping this hole was... I was kind of hoping we were at the under the tree tuck look. Because that's a tough shot. Well, there if I was playing its course on this year, I'd probably have a little bit different set of clubs, but it's not necessary most of the time. That's not where you want this. That's not a good spot. I'm happy with that. That's fine. I want to be up as close to the sand, but on the fairway as possible there. You get a straight shot in. Wow, that felt good. All right, we're lining this one up well. We got a chance. Shit. All right, so we're clean. 14 through 9. Is this there? Nope, not there. Oh, we're not even getting it down to the bottom today. Keep adding up these little points. They help a lot. Ugh. Okay, this is a little goofy. I'm going to play it into the right edge of the tree up by the green and have it hopefully get knocked down and go in the bunker at worst. Yeah, that's a little bit of a trick shot, maybe. Now, when we played this course for prize play the years that it was out, we all played the low loft clubs, right? That didn't have a 5-wood, it had a 4-wood and a 1-iron. The 1-iron was really useful there. God. God, girl. Now, this hole could be drivable sometimes. It's not right now. Where is the line? I'm going to knock it up deep, I think, and hopefully get it past the edge of the bunker. Yeah, we got it up far enough. Good. If you've noticed, too, I rarely thumb the 6-wood going over any obstacles because it's so... Oh, I don't know. I think I want to say 7, might be 5. I don't know. That's close to being drivable. It's not for me, though. Maybe an A1, but it's 390 with the pit at the front. That means I had to carry it 380. That's not happening. Hmm. Gave it a run. That's all you can do there. I couldn't get much more aggressive on that. I don't mind where that pin is, but the second shot is still going to be a challenge. Perfect. I could look for you. I could look. course, I want the 9.5 driver right now. I don't think I can stick this without it. The 9.5 driver, I could play it straight through that gap right in front of me. And I'm going to have a chip. That's what I was afraid of. This chip is going to make... I'm going to 5 chip it. Fuck. Fuck! Yeah, that whole 18 was bad, dude. That was as bad of a look as it could be. It was going to be really hard to keep it up near that hole. Maybe if I would have gone with a 5 wood instead of the 4 wood there, that had a chance. All right, we'll do the other one. But now, to be perfectly honest, right, that 25 probably is the top score during that. It's probably going to be top score or second on that. But because I have... Where is the other one? It's indigo, right? But I'm giving a ton of strokes on it. Oh, you'll have to look. I didn't see. I didn't look to see. All right, come on. Let's have a big setup here. That's not a good start. All right, maybe 2. 2 be there? 2 is there. This is like the only par 3 that is offset in the game right now. And I don't know why they haven't fixed it yet. I don't know how that didn't go in, to be perfectly honest with you, but... no, I didn't. Arrows, I would have probably flown it. I got all the bushes to disappear. That's awesome. That was a bad setup there. Now, see, this new 9 wood, it actually hurts me on this. That's why the new 9 wood sucks for this. Oh. Okay, Brad, gotcha. This hole used to be a lot harder when we didn't have a 9 wood or 7 wood to go over it. Now you just knock it up and you can clear it. But you used to have to play it to go through the pyramid. And oh my God, I just did the math all wrong, but we're still fine. Getting it, Brad. Pine it is. All right, so pine, I'm going to have a different set of... I play a different set of clubs for. And it's mainly... The reason my clubs are different is because for hole 18, you need to have a low hybrid, like a 3-iron, a 3 hybrid type club. I play just the 9.5 on that bag. It's mainly because it was before we really started using the 10.5, but you don't need it much here there. lights off. Okay, this isn't terrible. Calling. Brad, that has been accepted. I will play that next and probably call it a night there then. Want to be fresh. Got to be fresh for tomorrow. I'm going to be the Febreze brother. Damn it. Not putting anything close to this game, but we're clean at least. They're calling. Oh, get it, Brett. We're putting them close. We're getting them there. Ah. I needed that. I can't miss those with these, with all the strokes. Sissy. I sissy dick that. Fuck. All right. Hopefully this is there. Not this one. The next one. That is not drivable. And I don't like this either, I don't think. Actually, I got a lane. All right, good. There's like 7 other shots you can play on that hole. I was too scared. Ah, stop being scared. Hit it. I laid off of that scared of going way over it. All right, play clean, shoot 28. This one, I still want to cut it back in some. Just to fight that 10. All right, we'll take the clean 28. Let's play Brad's game right now. Let's see how we can do on Pine. Where is he? Where is this Pine? There it is. All right, let's do it. Good luck, Brad. Yeah, but Neil, that means I lost to you because what's your handicap? I shot a +1 then off my handicap, I think. So you shot a -1. So you beat me by 2. Oh, no problem, Heisenberg. I appreciate you checking in, my man. Yeah, no, it's handicap, so it's full handicap. It's tough for me. The thing that saves me is that I'll be consistent. +2 to +2 to even most games, and it ends up getting me, as long as the last course, the finals is as long as the finals is something tough and I shoot that, then we're good. Oh, he does a good job. Don't get me wrong. I was a little concerned, I'm not going to lie, when I need to change this bag now that I looked at it. I don't need a 7-wood, 9-wood at all. I could just have one or the other. No, it's reach out to Tom. Reach out to him on Facebook. He's been posting about it on the pages. When she treats me like shit, I'm locked down like a penitentiary. All right, let's make one. Let's make this. And the living's easy. You're welcome, Heisenberg. Appreciate you. LBC me. The rhythm, it gets harder. Woo! Almost screwed that up. This has been one of my worst holes ever. I can never control the distance right here. Thank God. It's so weird because even going back to a course that this new, I feel like I'm an immensely better player than I was when I played these. Brad, I'm putting them right on holes against you, man. They're right there for me. Yeah, I need to change my bag. This would be so easy with the 8.5. Ben, what are you looking for? Message me. If I had yeah, I need to change this bag. We're going to drop the 7-wood or 9-wood, drop the 9.5 and put the 8.5 and 10.5 in. Because that shot there, I could have hit a high tee 8.5, basically straight at it. Instead, I had to play a cut high tee, and I was scared of flying it, and I didn't fly it. I left it short and wet. So that's going to be a problem on that. And that's just all not having the right clubs. Good night, Neil. Yeah, guys, we're not going to have a stream on Wednesday, though. I'll be back on Friday. No stream Wednesday. We'll see you guys Friday, though. Unless I'm allowed to stream 2021. Good luck, Ben. I don't think there's any bars that you can play at right now. I thought that's what Stu was saying. He hasn't played in months. Are you seeing anything what you could have done different after watching mine, though, at least? All right, we got a tough one here. Myself tonight. Oh, cool. This is always a challenging hole. Wow, that's a bad look, too. I wish more people would do what you're doing. I love doing this. I don't mind the handicap and the invites just so you guys can see the shots. I don't care. Oh, shit. That was bad. All right. So now someone was asking earlier, I got a message about choosing your club on some for chipping, right? So my normal theory is I take the lowest lofted club down to the 5-iron to a hole in front of me. I am not comfortable chipping a 5-iron at this because if I lip this out, I could end up in the bunker on the right. So I'm going to go with like a 9-iron and just baby it up. Now, honestly, I had the line perfect if I didn't catch that edge of fringe right there. But my goal was to hit the green first on that chip, not the fringe. All right, so this is where you want to have that 3 hybrids a good distance here. I mean, a good height. I don't like the distance, though. This is actually a rough look. And after hitting it, it really wasn't too bad. All right, I got one more game in me. Let me look at these invites, and then I'll let you guys go. And just remember, guys, do remember, we're not going to stream on Wednesday. I won't be in town. We'll be out of town. And then we'll play. Yeah, you too, Brad. And then we'll get back to it at 8 p.m. on Friday. All right, what do we got for invites? Let's see. Let's go to the oldest, just in case I don't get them done. All right, I'm playing this 4-man. 10 ducks a man, 4-man. Looks like a winner take all. Good. Wow, I'm doing things all on my own. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Not quite yet. Not all on my own yet. We'll get it. There we go. All right, here we go. We're going to shoot 30 here at least. We're going 30. Through the conscience of a waterfall. Mm-hmm. Come on. Get something to drop. That's not my spot. That's not a good spot, actually, at all. All right, we did okay from there. We don't want to be in that rough. You want to be in the fairway. Luckily that I didn't have to go over the water. You can play that run up. So say Geronimo. But Ben, I can message Stu for you. Come on. Ah. Let's see right now. My God, something dropped. These are all right there. I've been pretty close tonight. I feel like this Trackball is just about ready to start dialing in for me. I hate this look. Tucked behind the edge of the tree. We're happy with it. All right. Clean front. That's good. Good. I'm just a click off, man. Fudge. So what I found in real-time rivals as I was driving that hole. Hi, Rod. Love you, buddy. Absolutely. All right, April should be good, but we should be good. I'm really hoping that my bar is back open by then. It has nothing to do with COVID. That derecho knocked my bar off its foundation. We're waiting for it to get redone. I just don't want to have to find a location to put these machines in. It works out too perfect for us. They give us the run of the mill at it. I got risky on that. That was stupid to release that ball, guys. Are you coming up to do a show yourself, Sean? What the fuck? What the fuck's a frush? I need something big with a bunch of beef in it. I don't like this look. This is like where I get to my least favorite look on this hole. It's such an easy shot too, and I know I'm going to blow it. You did not blow it. Okay, cool. Wow, this is not fun. Shit, that's not going to work. I think I'm going to hit the bench if I do a low tee. I got a little lucky there. That could have easily hit that branch. La Cruanga, feet don't touch the ground. Very touchy, very touchy. Shit. All right, we're going straight anywhere. We're seeing. That was just a safe layup right there. I wasn't about to go at the hole hard. All right, we'll take the clean 29. That's okay. That should win that one. I've got a feeling. I'm hoping it is. Oh, no, that's 10-man 4 paid. All right, well, that might not win, but I got a feeling I get some profit off of it. But at this point in time, like I said, I'm driving out of here, heading to Chicago in the morning. Hopefully have some information I can give out when we come back on Friday. But we will see you guys Friday, 8 p.m. standard. Get some invites out to me if you guys have anything you want to see. Otherwise, word of mouth. Back to basics. Chipping and putting is going to end right now. So we will see you guys again soon. Love you. Be safe.